Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital spoilers. Dante arrests Sonny, forced to handcuff and haul off own dad. General Hospital. VH spoilers reveal that Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprovna, will try to calm Sonny Corinthos, Morris Bennard, down and convince him not to risk prison over all the John Jagger Cates, Adam J. Harrington drama. It's more important than ever for Sonny to stay a free man since Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, is already stuck in custody at the PCPD. Dante may warn that it'll break Donna Corinthos, Scarlett Spears' heart if Sonny and Carly both end up doing jail time. However, that's kind of the point since Sonny is livid with John for trying to send the mother of his child to prison. Sonny is determined to fight back and honestly got his gun out in the July 26 episode, so trouble is brewing. During the week of July 29 August 2, Dante will urge Sonny to just stay away from John while he's in this agitated state. Sonny will track Agent Cates down anyway, so look for them to have a fierce face-off on July 30. The good news is John will survive this showdown since he'll have an offer for someone the next day. The bad news is Sonny will continue spinning out, so danger could still be brewing. Sonny will fume on August 1, so he'll unleash his wrath and alienate someone he used to be close to in the following episode. It sounds like we're gearing up for a week of Sonny's downward spiral, so all this may culminate with his arrest. That's especially true since GH spoilers confirm Dante will indeed make one on August 2, perhaps just in time for Friday's cliffhanger. Our predictions suggest Dante may have no choice once he gets updates on Sonny's latest actions. Will it be Sonny who Dante arrests in this dramatic scene? Will Sonny injure John or do something else that warrants him being taken into police custody? It's worth mentioning that Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mancy, seems to have a crushing medical crisis looming. We'll see if Sonny has anything to do with that. Regardless, General Hospital spoilers say Sonny may go too far one way or another, so Dante may have to handcuff and haul off his own dad. The moon hung high over Port Charles, casting long, eerie shadows on the waterfront as the night deepened. Inside the bustling police station, tension crackled like static electricity. Detective Dante Falconeri paced the floor, his mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. He had spent his career upholding the law, but tonight that duty clashed brutally with his personal life. In his office, Dante stared at the arrest warrant in his hands. The ink was barely dry, the name written in bold letters, Sonny Corinthos. His father, a mob boss who had evaded the law for decades, yet a man Dante loved and respected despite their tumultuous history. The charges were severe: racketeering, money laundering, and a string of violent crimes that spanned years. Evidence had piled up, and now there was no turning back. The decision had been made above his head, but it was Dante who had to execute it. Dante, came a voice from the doorway. Commissioner Jordan Ashford stood there, her expression one of grim resolve. "We have to do this by the book. Are you ready?" He nodded, though his heart felt like it was being squeezed in a vise. "I understand, Commissioner. I'll handle it." Jordan hesitated, sensing the weight of his burden. "You don't have to do this alone. We can send someone else." "No," Dante said firmly. "It has to be me. He's my father. I owe him that much." With a heavy sigh, Dante clipped his badge onto his belt and holstered his weapon. He took one last look around his office, knowing that after tonight, nothing would ever be the same. The drive to Sonny's mansion was silent, the only sound the rhythmic hum of the engine. Dante's thoughts drifted to his childhood, the rare moments of peace with his father, and the countless times he had wished for a normal life away from the shadow of organized crime. As they pulled up to the Corinthos estate, Dante steeled himself. The imposing structure loomed before him, a fortress of secrets and sins. He could almost hear his heart pounding in his chest as he and the officers approached the front door. Max, Sonny's loyal bodyguard, opened it, his face a mask of confusion. "Dante, what's going on?" "I need to see my father, Max," Dante said, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "Now." Max hesitated but stepped aside. Inside, the air was thick with anticipation. Dante could sense the eyes of the household staff on him, their whispers a backdrop to the unfolding drama. He found Sonny in his study, sitting behind his desk with a tumbler of whiskey in hand. The mob boss looked up, his expression unreadable. "Dante," Sonny greeted him, his tone calm, but with an edge of curiosity. "To what do I owe this visit?" Dante took a deep breath, his resolve hardening. "Sonny Corinthos, you're under arrest." A flicker of surprise crossed Sonny's face, quickly replaced by a steely determination. "On what charges?" Dante stepped forward, producing the warrant. "Racketeering, money laundering, and conspiracy to commit murder." "The evidence is overwhelming, Dad." Sonny's eyes bore into his son's, searching for any sign of doubt. "Are you sure about this, Dante?" "It's not about what I want," Dante replied, his voice cracking slightly. "It's about the law. I have to do this." For a moment, father and son stood in silence, the weight of their history pressing down on them. Finally, Sonny nodded, setting his glass down with a resigned sigh. "All right then, let's get this over with." Dante stepped forward, the handcuffs feeling like lead in his hands. "Turn around and place your hands behind your back." Sonny complied, and as the cold metal closed around his wrists, the reality of the situation hit them both like a tidal wave. Dante's hands trembled as he secured the cuffs, his mind screaming against the injustice of it all. Yet he knew he had no choice. The walk to the squad car was a gauntlet of silent stares and whispered conversations. Dante could feel the judgment and sympathy from the bystanders, each step a testament to the harshness of justice. He opened the back door, guiding Sonny inside with a gentleness that belied the severity of the moment. As they drove back to the station, the silence between them was palpable. Dante's thoughts raced, memories of better times flashing before his eyes. He remembered the baseball games, the advice Sonny had given him, the rare moments of vulnerability they had shared. It felt like a lifetime ago. "Dante," Sonny's voice broke the silence, drawing him back to the present. "I know this isn't easy for you. I'm proud of you, you know, for doing your job, for standing up for what you believe in." Dante's grip on the steering wheel tightened, his throat constricting with emotion. "I wish it didn't have to be this way." Sonny nodded, his gaze distant. "Me too. But this is the life we chose, isn't it? The path we walked." As they arrived at the station, the harsh reality settled in. Reporters had gathered, their cameras flashing like a storm of accusations. Dante guided Sonny inside, the whispers and stares following them. The booking process was a blur, the formalities cold and impersonal. Finally, they stood in front of the holding cell, the bars a stark reminder of the divide between them. Dante unlocked the door, his heart heavy. "I'm sorry, Dad." Sonny stepped inside, turning to face his son one last time. "Take care of yourself, Dante, and take care of your family." With a final nod, Dante closed the cell door, the clang of metal echoing through the station. He stood there for a moment, the weight of his actions crashing down on him. Tears welled in his eyes, but he blinked them back, forcing himself to stay composed. As he walked away, the reality of his choice settled in. He had done his duty, upheld the law, but at what cost? The bond between father and son had been tested in the most brutal way, and the scars would linger long after the cell door closed. Dante Falconieri had arrested his own father, and in doing so had lost a part of himself. But he knew that in the world of Port Charles, The lines between right and wrong were often blurred, and the choices they made defined their fate.